does some good work. I don't think he knows all about Brandon Darby, the fellow who was operating here in Austin, the informant with the activist up at the RNC in Minnesota who supposedly were going to try to Molotov cocktail things, and you read the whole story. It's just an unbelievable operation. Aaron just handed me this during the break. He's an activist who rose to international recognition for his role in co-founding and directing the Common Ground Relief Organization. Isn't that nice? He currently resides in his home state of Texas and continues with his passion to investigate and expose groups and individuals who intend to harm the United States. I guess the big mega corporations that have taken us over. Though he now does so as a private citizen. He's become a staunch ally and advocate for the FBI's use of informants and for the role they play in the front lines keeping citizens' rights and safety protected. Aren't we lucky? And he has an article here. Leftists drink Chardonnay in first class while toying with the lives of young revolutionaries. It's really weird. Maybe he's misguided. I don't know. It's very creepy. Getting back to what I was covering here, they've always wanted to use the military against the American people. And we've got a super Congress. I have an Economist article I covered last night where it's like, let's just get rid of governments and have technocrats run things. Yeah, the Constitution's not good. You know, you've seen Time Magazine, Newsweek come out and say that. They're really pushing this. And they admit in this legislation that you can be killed, arrested, disappeared, no trial, thrown in one of these emergency centers. This is all admitted now. But they're not FEMA camps. They're emergency centers. It's like this isn't a baseball bat. It's a love wand. Now I'm going to beat you in the head with it. It's all lawyer semantical games. So here's the article. Yes, Americans will be targeted as terrorists under the NDAA. Republican Congressman Amish warns that bill can be applied to U.S. citizens. And he went on telling the Grand Rapids Press that the language of the bill is carefully crafted to mislead the public. And it allows military law, that's martial law, that's the suspension of regular law, and martial means military, martial law. But they won't call it that. It's security, keeping you safe from the terrorist who the government's publicly given control of Libya to and is now shipping in to Syria. And that's coming up with Tarpley after your calls. And we've got ESPN helping cover up tapes of admissions of children being raped. But you know what? It's all in the club. I mean, that's who runs America. And they've got the biggest military in the world working for them. We'll be right back. All right, we're already into hour number 2, and I've been pontificating. I'll get more into the NDAA. The national head of the Japanese American Citizens League warns that bill has echoes of World War II-style internment without charge. Ron Paul comes out and warns it's horrible. Rand Paul says he's going to try to block it. Your phone calls are needed. Other congressmen are pointing out that it says Americans are exempt, but then takes the exemption out later. Again, just you are seen as an absolute enemy by the banksters. And they're just trying to convince the police and military you're the enemy. And that's why we spend so much time reaching out to police and military, not in a suck-up way. Look, if you want to destroy your own future and sign on to pure evil and buy into the false script and propaganda, you know, it's free will universe. Free will, make your decision. As for me, I'm not signing on to this. I know who these people are. And just because you're tuning in going, man, this guy says some really horrible stuff about people in government, I back it up. Believe me, I wish every day. People over the years have accused me of exaggerating or fear-mongering. And occasionally I may exaggerate something. Occasionally I may, inadvertently be fear-mongering. It's true. Because reality is pretty darn crazy. But 9 times out of 10 or more, it's worse than what I've said. In fact, a lot of times I don't even tell you what I really think, just because I think people can't handle it. But somebody's got to face these people. And I'm not talking about just me. I mean, do you get in the ditch and wait for the wolves to come, or do you get together and do something about it? And it starts with, a lot of times I'll see police at the mall, or I'll see them somewhere and they look completely bored, but still kind of in on the power trip of staring at everybody. I'll walk over and go, hey, how do you like what's going on in America? And I'll start bringing up real issues to them, because we've got to reach out to these people. But more importantly, we've got to reach out to our friends, our family, everybody, and have a discussion about where this country has gone, what has unfolded in this nation. But I've got a couple articles I'll get to later after calls. Imagine the magnitude. I keep using that word because that's what we're dealing with here. Imagine the magnitude, the proportions of it publicly admitted that the terror manuals, the rest of it, the surface is Al-Qaeda, oh, we got to fight them, and then meanwhile our own government is putting Al-Qaeda in power all over the world. And then you get into the real files, and it's demonizing every political movement in America. The only way the globalists like you is if you're on 6 or 7 prescription drugs, watching 5-6 hours of TV a day, and believing whatever the media tells you, and flying Chinese-made American flags made by slaves outside your house. And then you're going to have your pension funds stolen and abused, but they know, because it's the government, you'll just kind of get in a fetal position and roll over, and the government will blow something up, you know, say Al-Qaeda did it. Oh, you took my pension fund, but Al-Qaeda just hit. Go ahead and take more. And it's like, yeah, that's right. Al-Qaeda just hit. Got him on the airplane. Oh, publicly, we got caught getting him on the airplane, but you're not going to worry about that, are you? Because you're incredibly weak-minded. And the public's like, yes, I'm not going to worry about that because I'm incredibly weak-minded. Now, move along. Okay, let's move along here. Never mind all those public studies about the radiation frying you, the laptops, the cell phones. Never mind the GMO. Never mind the documents that the government designed all that on purpose with the big think tanks to do this to you. Never mind this scientific dictatorship and the artificial reality we're being inserted into incrementally. Never mind the artificial habitat. You're like, oh, yes, never mind that. What would I do anyways? And the system says, that's right. What would you do anyways? Now, you sit there while we suck you dry. Do you understand? Yes, I'm going to sit here while you suck me dry. Thank you for destroying me and my family. Good. You're a good American. You're good. The time of the great choice is upon us, the time of choosing. No one can deny that there is a giant global private corporate government that is now upon us. No one can deny that. No one can deny that liberties are being systematically destroyed. No one can deny that the family is under attack and that we are electronically, chemically, biologically under assault. And we have the globalist documents of how and why they're doing it. And then you look at all this other news. What does it matter? I'm going to go to your calls, but a lot of people obviously probably want to hear what I have to say about Herman Cain. I have seen, because, you know, who cares about radiation levels going up, or who cares about them getting ready to loot more pension funds or take private bank accounts? Now, who cares about global depression? People want to know about Herman Cain. I've done special reports on it. I've shown the lies of Herman Cain. He is one of the best liars I've ever seen. Most people, even when Bill Clinton lies, I could tell he was lying when he said, I did not have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. How dare you? How dare you? I knew right then it was a lie. Herman Cain, when he told Ron Paul, and I can really quote him good if I imitate him, but the point is, he's like, listen, Ron Paul, you believe too much on the internet. I never said that. You need to stop believing all that stuff on the internet. And he said it very convincingly. And Ron Paul looked at him, cocked an eyebrow, looked back to his notes, and said, we'll look into that, Herman. We'll look into that. He said it in his book. He said it in multiple radio shows. I have played it here. But he looked right at Ron Paul and said, that is wrong. I'm tired of you misrepresenting me and other people. I never said people are stupid that want to audit the Fed. I never said that, and you need to stop believing everything you see on the internet. And a bunch of people laugh because he's a good liar. And I knew I'd heard him say that. I knew I'd read the quotes. He says it all the time. I've seen groups interview him like, "We are change," he says it. So I went and looked it up, and sure enough, he was a liar, and he knows he's a liar. And so the minute I heard about this with all the women, of course it's political. Of course it's Obama people. Of course they're trying to get him. It doesn't matter. He's still bald-faced lying. You think that big, high-powered, multi-million-dollar a year, running all those corporations, running around... I mean, come on, folks. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And now she's got all these hundreds of phone calls and over 14 years. Give me a break. Right there in the town. And sure, of course, it's probably political with her as well. But he is a liar. And once I catch you lying to me over and over again, I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. If something can be an honest mistake... I'll give you one chance. Used to, I give people 2, 3, 4 chances. Now, you get one chance in my life, and I catch you lying to me again, I am never going to talk to you again. It's a real luxury to be able to just never talk to bad people again. It's a real luxury. The problem is we can't get these government liars out of our lives. They know we're waking up to them. People are always like, call Washington, let them know. And I'm not saying it's bad. Keep letting them, know that you're aware of them. They have a 9% approval rating. They say they're allowed to insider trade and give contracts to themselves and their wives. Total criminal activity, total embezzlement, total fraud, insider trading, bid rigging. And they just say, well, we're allowed to. Of course, a group of crooks, most of them involved in absolute corruption, financial's the main thing. Of course, they're trying to get military on the streets. Of course they're trying to federalize. They're a bunch of criminals. They want to secure their ill-gotten gains and expand it. That's what tyranny is. Why do criminals want to get control of government? Because you can take over everything. And they're experts at it. And the big think tanks and the robber barons are expert at it. And the Congress people are just their little prostitutes who are in there selling out everything for chicken feed. Remember Barney Frank? He got caught running an underage brothel, 14-year-old boys. He came out a few years ago and he said, it's an Invisible Empire, the film we produced last year, the news clips, and he said, listen, the police will stop investigating this, or I will tell the names in Congress. And you know what? The police dropped it instantly. Instantly. Just like they knew 10 years ago at ESPN about the tapes of the wife saying, yeah, I watched him rape little kids. And they said, well, we're not going to even give it to the cops. It's all in the sick family of pedophiles and sickos and trash and control freaks and back scratchers and all these people. That's let me tell you, when I first started getting involved politically 17 years ago, people would come and tell me this stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Pedophile rings run it all. Sure they do. Mm-hmm. Have you taken your medication? Oh, there's a place called Skull and Bones where they do satanic rituals in Bohemian Grove. Sure. Sure. Now, can I get my coffee and get out of this place? Thank you. Take your medication. And then I finally actually looked.